First we have Alisson Becker, and shortly afterwards we'll have the head coach, Arne slot. If you could raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question, we will get through as many as we can. Who'd like to go first?
Hello, Alisson. Hi. Nice early chance to put the weekend's disappointment behind you.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, tomorrow is a big chance for us to prove again and to go back to the good start that we have in the season. Unfortunately, the last match was we were far away from what we could do on the pitch in respect of the other games, the way we played, and we know that. But football is quick, and we have to be really focused for tomorrow night. It will be a really tough opponent that we're going to play against, and we have to be ready.
Ciao Alisson.
Hi Alisson, I'm Francesco Rocchi from Rai Sport. Welcome again to Italy. I'd like to ask you about your feelings, what feelings you have coming back here to Italy and to San Siro specifically in a game against Milan.
Per me è sempre un piacere tornare in Italia.
It's always a pleasure to me coming back to this country.
Anche nelle vacanze, sempre per la
I
mia
also come
famiglia
back here on holidays with my family. It's always a lovely and special place to be. I always repeat the same, I love Italy.
Sarà una partita molto difficile
But tomorrow
per
will
noi.
be a tough game for us.
C'è una grandissima squadra davanti, una partita storica.
Before us, there is a great team, a huge club, a historic club. We know that because we know the history of football. We know that when these two teams, Liverpool and AC Milan, they always compete in great finals and matches. There have been a couple of them in the year 2000. So for us, it's a pleasure, a full pleasure to play in a game like this tomorrow.
E siamo pronti per lottare per i nostri obiettivi.
Fight to get our targets. Hi Alisson, and welcome back to Italy. I'm talking from Corriere dello Sport. Tomorrow it will be also a competition between you, one of the best goalkeepers worldwide, and Maignan, another wonderful goalkeeper. What do you think about Mike Maignan, and how do you classify him in the global standing? Mike Maignan is a great goalkeeper. He's doing incredibly well.
3, 4, 5 anni.
And he has been doing so for 3, 4 to 5 years. Since he came here to Milan, he has always played wonderfully, and also with the French national team. He has replaced a wonderful, a great goalkeeper who has been a world champion. And he's doing great. Every time he goes to the pitch, he plays very well. He's a very physical player, he's quick, he has technical skills. He's a very clean player.
Un bravissimo portiere.
He's a very good goalkeeper. He is one of the 10 best players worldwide. In terms of quality as a goalkeeper, he has advanced a lot. There are so many good goalkeepers, but he's one of the best. Hi, Alisson. I would like to ask you whether, for you, the atmosphere here in San Siro tomorrow, made of huge supporters, a huge support, will it be a concern for you, the fact that there will be a very warm environment with AC Milan supporters? Well, if you play at a high level like us, like we do, you need to like these kind of settings, these kind of atmospheres, with supporters supporting you or going against you. I'm sure that it will be a good occasion a wonderful opportunity to play football before thousands of people, thousands of AC Milan
Siamo
supporters.
contenti di questa opportunità.
We are happy about this opportunity,
Abbiamo bisogno di essere
and at the
pronti
same time,
per
we need to
veramente
be
far
ready
bene. Se vogliamo
to do our best.
vincere la
If we
partita,
really
dobbiamo
want
fare il
to
nostro meglio,
win this
perché
game, we need to do
c'è una
our very
bravissima
best,
squadra davanti a noi.
because we have
e
a wonderful team ahead of
il
us.
calcio italiano anche sempre
Italian football
una fatica per le
is always
squadre inglesi.
It's always a
quindi
problem for
dobbiamo
English
essere
teams
pronti
to
per
play versus Italian rivals. So we need to be ready.
Well, I could ask you what you make of the new Champions League format generally. There's a lot more games. Does that make it tougher? How demanding is that on players? And also, I wonder what you make of Liverpool's chances generally as potential Champions League winners this season. Can you do that?
I think for the supporters it's amazing. More games, more bigger games, big teams playing against each other. For us players as well is a good thing that you are going to play against the best in Europe, and it's always a good idea to add some games to the calendar that is not busy. I'm being ironic a little bit. But again, we are here to do our job. Sometimes nobody asks the players what they think about adding more games. So maybe our opinion doesn't matter. But everybody knows what we think about that, having more games. Everybody is tired of that, but we have to bring those kind of things on side and stay focused on the big challenge that we have here tomorrow. And if we have a chance, let's see what we're gonna do on the pitch. A lot have changed from the last years from us. We didn't play the Champions League last season, and we are all looking forward to that, to be back to the Champions League, and we're gonna do our best to try to win.
Ciao Alisson e Michael.
Hi, Alisson, Michael Cuomo from Tele Lombardia. Could you please tell us how Federico Chiesa arrived? What was his arrival like? How are you seeing him? How do you find him?
Io non ho bisogno di fare una presentazione del calciatore.
I don't need to give you any introduction of Federico Chiesa because he's a wonderful football player. You perfectly know him much better than we do.
Lui ha dimostrato negli ultimi anni la sua
In the past
qualità.
years, he has given proof of his
Anche ha avuto degli infortuni,
quality.
ha avuto degli momenti
He got injured,
non tanto belli nel
he had
calcio,
some ups and downs.
però il modo
Lately,
con
he had some
cui
bad
lui è
periods,
arrivato a Liverpool
but
mi ha
the
fatto
way he
piacere, perché
landed
lui
in
è arrivato
Liverpool
con una
was
sorrisa
extremely positive to me.
grandissima sulla
I think
faccia.
that he arrived to our squad with a great smile, a
C'è
huge
molto
smile
entusiasmo
painted
su
on
di
his
lui,
face.
e lui
Everybody's
anche
enthusiastic
è
about
molto contento
Federico,
di avere questa
and he's extremely
possibilità di
happy
giocare per
about
una
having
squadra
this
come il
chance of
Liverpool.
playing
E
in our
la sua
squad.
qualità dimostra ogni giorno.
His
Quindi
quality,
siamo,
he shows it every
siamo
time, every
fortunati di
day.
avere un calciatore dal suo livello
We are lucky to count on him.
per puntare e per aiutare la squadra.
He's a top-level player who can help our team. Good afternoon, Alisson. I'm Luca Savarese from Radio Cross. Being a goalkeeper gives you the chance to have a privileged look on the whole pitch. So what is Mr. Slot doing for the team and for the tactics? But Mr. Slot has contributed with several positive things.
Tutti noi calciatori che abbiamo lavorato tanto
Obviously,
tempo con Klopp,
all the
sempre
players who have worked for a long time with Mr. Klopp,
un po' di lui sulle nostre
will
caratteristiche.
remember what he
Però il
told us.
mister
So
Slot
our
è
characteristics
arrivato
will
molto
be
entusiasmo
influenced by Jurgen Klopp also in the
anche con
future.
nuove idee di
But
calcio,
Slot has arrived with a
non
great
cambia
enthusiasm, with
tanto
new ideas
rispetto
regarding
di quello
football.
che
Actually,
abbiamo
his
fatto
new
nel
ideas are not
passato.
that different from what we did in the past.
Però lui piace avere la
But
palla,
still,
piace
Mr. Slot loves to
fare
make
le-
ball
le
possession.
creazioni
He loves
più
to
dal basso,
create
dal portiere fino alla
occasions,
porta avversaria.
starting in the defense, starting from the very goalkeepers, or
Ci permette
starting
di
from
giocare
myself,
qualche palle
till
lunghe
arriving to the
se
other pitch, to the
la
other goal.
partita
And this
si
will
ha
give
bisogno
us
sulla partita, però
chances.
piace molto
I think
del
that
palleggio, piace
we
molto
like this thing of making ball possessions, of making
della-
passes.
della vicinità dei calciatori
We like
dentro
to
campo,
play close to
dei
each other.
movimenti,
We like the movements
e poi
Mr. Slot
ci
wants
lascia
us to
libero
make.
anche per
And
essere
he
creativo
also
dentro
gives
campo.
us freedom to be
È uno che
whatever
lavora
player
molto
we like to be.
il
He
suo
works
staff
a
anche
lot
lavora molto
on his staff,
e ci ha portato
and his staff
molto
works a lot as well.
entusiasmo sulla
So I think
squadra
that with Mr.
siamo
Slot's arrival, we
molti
have
fiduciosi
always
che
been, and
possiamo
we have all
fare-
been, sorry,
fare molto bene
very
questa
enthusiastic,
stagione.
and we rely on the fact that we can do a good job this season.
Does not being in the Champions League last year make you appreciate it even more? Do you feel as though you and your teammates in the club as a whole belong in this competition?
Yes, imagine something that you really like to do and you stay without doing it for 1 year. How looking forward you would be for doing that thing again. So that's the way we feel. That's playing the Champions League was one of the reasons that I came here in Europe from Brazil. So not being able to play the last season was really hard. But here we are again after a really good season of us qualifying for the Champions League in a really difficult league that is the Premier League. So we are looking forward for that, for this beginning.
One at the back and then the last one here.
Ciao, buonasera,
Hi, my name is Maurizio Cardoni from Radio Latte Miele. Tomorrow you are going to face a rival that hasn't started that well, not in a linear way, not very well in the first games, then a net victory, a net winning in Venice, against Venice on last weekend. So have you studied this new rival? Is there something that impacts you with this new AC Milan?
Che è
Well,
sempre la
we
stessa,
have
magari
always been impressed by the high quality of this squad.
una fiducia nella squadra, però la qualità
You
è
cannot
lì.
just take a
I
look at the
calciatori con
last
qualità sono
results,
lì.
because the quality of AC
Sappiamo
Milan
che
is there,
domani
it's
è una
still
partita
there,
diversa,
and the
è
quality
una
of
partita
its
di
player
Champions
too.
League, c'è
We
la
know that tomorrow will be a
motivazione
wholly
dei
different game.
calciatori,
It's a
quindi
Champions League game.
tutto
There
può
will be the
essere
full motivation
diverso
of
di quello che
players,
abbiamo
of
studiato,
supporters.
che
So
abbiamo
it will be
guardato,
a
quindi
completely different story.
siamo
And
molto concentrati.
Tomorrow the situation will be very
sulla
much
prestazione
different
che-
from what
che
we have
possiamo
studied so
fare
far
noi, sono
regarding
cose
AC
che
Milan.
dobbiamo
We are
fare
focused
noi,
on what we need to do, on our
dentro
tactics,
campo
on our strategy on the
e
pitch.
questo
and that's
con
it.
molto desiderio di fare bene, di fare una bella
We
prestazione.
really want to do a great job tomorrow. We
rispetto
want
di
to
quello che abbiamo
perform
fatto contro il Nottingham.
greatly,
Domani
not like we
sarà
did
una grandissima
against Nottingham Forest.
opportunità
And
per
tomorrow we
noi
will have the chance
e
to
anche
prove
per
that
cominciare bene
we
la
are still
competizione.
standing, and we want to start very well this competition.
Just to follow up on player welfare and the volume of games. You say no one asks the players, so I thought I'd ask you, what do you think is the appropriate amount of football for a top player to be playing in a season? Is it 50 games? Is it 40 games? And what competitions, or what would you drop from the calendar to make more room?
I think this is not only a question that I should answer here, okay, the number is 30 or the number is 40, but it's a matter to sit down all together and listen all the parts, because we understand that we have the side of the media from TVs, we have the side from the UEFA, from the FIFA, from Premier League, from the domestic competitions. We are not stupid. We understand that, and we understand that people want games. People want more games, but the reasonable thing would be all these sides that I mentioned, all the people who are responsible for making the calendar, organizing the calendar, to sit together and to listen all the parts, inclusive the players. I think so many players have spoken already about that, and we just need to be listened, and that's what we would like to do, to sit together and to understand what is the thinking of the directions that football wants to go, and not only adding games, adding competition, adding this, adding that. At the end is only what we want is giving our best for the football. If you are tired, you cannot compete in a high level. What I want is giving my best in all the games that I play. But we need a solution for that, and doesn't look like we are close to a good solution for the football's sake and for the players' sake.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
If you want to leave your...
Hello again. Exactly the same process as with Alisson. We have simultaneous translation on headsets. If you could raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. Gary?
We missed him. I missed him for a while.
Oh, yeah, you followed you, didn't you?
No. San... Oh, yes, I need this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello there. San Siro, first game in charge of Liverpool in the Champions League, and your birthday.
Tomorrow it is, yes.
Congratulations. Hopefully lots more to celebrate as well. How big a night will this be for you in your career so far?
Yeah, I think it's the first time that my birthday is not so important tomorrow. It's a big game, not for me, also for me, but it's a big game for us because it's the first game and it's the next game, and the next game is always the most important one, as you know. But because of the history of this, that these two teams have and the venue where it's played in, it's one to look forward to.
László Schiller from Hungarian RTL Television. Question about Dominic Szoboszlai. There will be another celebration. If he plays, it will be his 50th game in Liverpool. So far, he played all 4 games full time, 90 minutes. How important is his role for you in the team?
I think all of the squad players I have, they have an important role, and he's played all 4 of them now. And every player feels more important when he plays than when he's not playing. But every squad member has his role, and during a season, all of them will play a lot because we play a lot of games. But he's been important for us, especially till now in our work when we don't have the ball. So he's been outstanding in his pressing game. And I think something that we have to work on with him is that he's also even more involved in scoring goals and creating chances for us. Because I think last season he scored 3, if I remember correctly. And for an attacking midfielder at Liverpool, his numbers needs to go up. But I'm really happy with the way he's done till now. And I'm 100% sure that if he plays in a team with so much quality around him and with the quality he has, that he will, in the end, score more goals for us as well.
Jen, here, the blue suit.
Buonasera, mister.
Good evening, Mr. Slot. My name is Paolo Vinci. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I would like to ask you the following. You have been telling about the history of AC Milan, the history of Liverpool, great teams and great games. In this very moment, are you scared about something related to AC Milan, or are you scared by some players you would not like to see tomorrow in AC Milan?
I don't know if the translation is correct, but the word scared was used. If I was scared for some players or for AC Milan, I don't think any manager or any team is scared to play the other team, but we have a lot of respect for the quality and the players and the history of Milan. So, the first one that comes to my mind is, of course, a Dutch player, Tijani Reinders, who's done really well over here and also for the Dutch national team last week. So they have quality players. We're not scared, but we do respect all of their players because they've shown last Saturday that they're in good form, had a very good 4-0 win. So we respect Milan a lot, but scared is not the word we would use.
Good evening, and happy birthday for tomorrow. Well, you listened. I was kind of surprised before because the English colleagues are talking about a disappointment because of the because you lost the game on Saturday. Alisson said that you need to be back to a good path. Alisson said this, but you have won the first 3 games and you only lost 1. So is this disappointment that great, that big?
What did Alisson say?
We have to put right after what went wrong.
Oh, yeah. Not only the journalists were disappointed about the result from us against Nottingham Forest, the team and me were really disappointed as well. Although we always put it in the right perspective when we beat United, the journalists and us were really positive, of course. But I also saw things we had to improve. And last Saturday, we didn't do as many things good as we did against United, but there were still a few things that went quite well. But it was a total different game, and that's also for tomorrow. I expect a complete different game against Milan. with the type of players they have and the playing style that manager has compared to Nottingham Forest. But we should be disappointed if you lose a home game against Nottingham Forest and you play for and you work for Liverpool. If you're not disappointed, if you drop points in a home game against Nottingham Forest, then something is wrong. So yeah, 4 games, 9 points. It's a good start, but it's not a great start because then we would have had 12.
Arne, good evening. Ian Dennis, BBC Radio. In the old Champions League format, if you won your home games or got to 10 points, there was a fair chance that you would qualify. I'm just intrigued to think how many points you think might be required in this new phase, and also what are your thoughts about the revamped Champions League format?
Oh, a lot of questions in one. I think it's difficult for me to tell you now how many points are needed because yeah, it's the first time we play this competition and it's 8 games. So I was lost. I've been in Europe for a few years with my former clubs, and sometimes we went through to the next round. I think one time even with 6 points or 7 points, and we ended up number 1 in the group. So that is difficult to say before you start. But I think it's clear that if you want to end up in the first 8, you have to win a lot of games. You need a lot of points. And what I think about the format, that's also something you can ask me better in the end. The only thing I like about it, just as someone who loves to see football every night on television, is that on every night there's a nice fixture. Where in the former format, sometimes there were evenings you're like, okay, tomorrow is a nicer game than today. But now, for example, with our game tomorrow, I think everybody who loves football is looking forward to that game. So that is the positive for the person that sits at home in front of his television. Is it going to be for the players with 2 extra games? How is it going to be exciting in the end of the group stage as well? That's something that we have to find out, and I don't think anyone has the answer to that at the moment. But if you ask me these questions in a few months, I can answer it probably much better than I can answer it now.
Chris?
After the defeat on Saturday, a lot has been made about rotation or lack of rotation, and especially from your teams in the past. But with the fixtures coming now thick and fast and more Champions League games, are you going to have to rotate, and should we expect to see changes in different games now going forward?
If rotation would be the reason why you don't win a game, then probably wouldn't be the first game I lost in 2024 last Saturday, because I found out indeed we didn't rotate a lot. So for me, but everybody can have his own opinion, it's too simple to put this loss on rotation. It's because I think too many players didn't reach their normal level, and that was not only the ones that started but also the ones that came in. So for me, it had a lot to do with the playing style of the opponent, who made it really difficult for us. But in the end, if you don't win, you try to look at as many arguments as you can find. And also, I ask myself the question: okay, does it have to do with the things you said, or? But I prefer to look the game back and see what we did well, what we didn't do well, and I think we could have done a lot of things much better. That was not related towards rotation. But we would never know if I would have rotated 3 or 4 new players in, if we would have won then. But this is going to be a long answer. I think it was the day before the press conference, someone said to me, 10 of your players have started for the national team. So which ones were completely rested then? So the rotation, now I can do something about the rotation in the upcoming games because they're all with me. But before that, they were with the national team, and almost all of them played 2 times 90 minutes. So, yeah. But I think they were prepared for that. We tried to prepare them for that. And for me, this loss didn't have to do with rotation, but more to do with the opponent and us not bringing too many players, not bringing what they can bring.
Buonasera, mister.
Good evening, Mr. Slot. Could you please tell us why did you want Federico Chiesa at Liverpool? What did you see in Federico Chiesa? What did you like about him? Will he be in the bench tomorrow?
What we like about why we brought him in and what we like about him. I always like to bring in quality players, and we believe, and I think that he's a quality player that combines quality with an enormous work rate. And the culture of this club And the culture of this team is working really hard when we don't have the ball, and I think he brings this to his game in combination with scoring goals, in combination with he can play in several positions up front. He is for the first time in our team selection. Is team selection the right word? Yeah, team selection. And since I said it's the first time he's in team selection, it would be a big surprise for him and for everyone if he would start tomorrow. I don't think you should expect that he starts, but he can make a few minutes for the first time tomorrow if we need him, and that is something we will see tomorrow. But for the first time with us, and don't expect him to be there in the starting lineup, because he's been with you for training on his own for a long time now, with us for a few weeks, have some training time. So it's too early for him to play 90, but hopefully he can make his first minutes in the upcoming fixtures.
Benvenuto a Milano.
Welcome to Milan, Mr. Slot. My name is Marco Bidi from Gazzetta dello Sport. In Italy, there is always a large debate regarding Rafael Leao, regarding his football, his style of football. You have trained great wingers, Salah, Luis Diaz, now you have Federico Chiesa and many quality players. Regarding Leao, do you think that he is already a top player, or he still has a long way to go to become one of them? Do you have something special tomorrow to stop him?
You were asking me if he's already a special player, and there's a lot of talks about him, you said. I didn't know, but that's what you told me. And I think that means that he's a top player. But because people always talk about the top players, they don't talk about the players that are underneath. We know his quality. We've studied, of course, the Milan team, and then one of the ones that catches your eye is definitely Rafael Leao. How do we try to stop him not being on his best? That's always a team performance thing. So we need to defend as a team really well to stop the likes of Rafael Leao, but they have more quality in the team and more special players than only Rafael Leao. But yeah, he's definitely one of their top players, in my opinion.
Buonasera, mister.
Good evening, Mr. Slot. A quick question regarding McAllister, a very important, a crucial player for you. Well, I would like to know from you whether he is included in the rotation you were mentioning before.
I have only important players, so all 23 I took to the Milan game tomorrow are very important to me and to the club. I think you saw I took him off after 60 minutes, of somewhere around 60 minutes against Nottingham Forest. That also had to do with him not playing the full 90 minutes with the national team, being out for a few days with an injury. So that had a bit to do with rotation. But I think he's able to play tomorrow again 60 or 90 minutes, and we will see the decision I make tomorrow. But he's definitely, like the other 22, an important player for us.
Well done. Thank you.